introduction. So I would like to start how this talk happened. So I was coming to an exhibition at Tin Thompson a few months ago. So it was an exhibition of a Vietnamese artist, and the curator was a friend, more like my online friend. We talk about little gossips about art world and little fun stuff. But then I came here to meet him for the first time, and then I met her there randomly, joining and talking about food, and then we discussed a little bit about what's happening in my country and what's the status of my position, and this happened. So the title of the talk will be "The Contemporary Paradigm Shift, Is Myanmar Still In?" So the title is intentionally misleading because I wanted to create a little argument between, is Myanmar still in the international contemporary world, or is Myanmar itself it's already left behind? Because I am more of a curator who is interested in younger emerging artists and the fresher minds. So first thing I want to introduce about myself, this is me. I'm a curator. I love the word space conjurer, and I'm a satirist. So basically, I like to make fun of and then mock and a little bit of sarcasm to everything I see, because why not? Because it's more of a fun approach to everything that's so serious in the art world. So yes, I have a master's degree in art history at UCL, and I have some sort of a design degree in Malaysia. So this is what Chipon just read. It's very similar. So I just put a little bit of what I do in Yangon. Before joining to the art world, my job is to write proposals in a heritage conservation called Yangon Heritage Trust. The only reason I joined that local NGO was to look for art spaces, because there are so many beautiful colonial buildings in Yangon, which are all empty. So I felt like, why are they empty? And what can I do there? I felt like, at first I thought it was very easy, huge spaces, slightly better government. I thought we could do cool stuff, but in a way, it turns out a little bit depressing. So after that, I joined the art collective, and then I joined my partner, and then we started a gallery and so on. So this is a little bit about me. So the talk will be approximately around 30 minutes or 45 minutes. It will depend on how my mood shifted. So it will be about this 6 pillars. The first thing is about collectors, traditional and contemporary markets. So when I do this topics of like what I should talk today, this is like very different from the international art world. So whoever's in the international art world, or whoever is in Bangkok, or whoever's an artist in Bangkok, it will be really different from what we think about when it comes to contemporary and traditional, the terms like that. So second thing is education workshops and art professionals, which is very direct. And the third one, it will be about the community we have. And the fourth one is galleries, institutions, external export board, and artworks, mediums and artists, and media. So the 6 topics will be focusing mostly from the period of 2019 to 2024, which is just before pandemic, during the pandemic, after pandemic, and the military coup. I will not be saying directly of like which galleries or what sort of institutions happen at which specific time, because this is not a history lesson, but I will be focusing on this particular era because this is where we were basically gone out of the world, gone out of the Southeast Asian, whatever. So this is something that I love, that always reminds me of home. This is an artwork by Lulu Mao. So for every topic, I put a random artwork there just to enjoy and then give a little bit of like different feelings. So the artwork is basically about demanding something from higher beings. It can be a god, it can be your parents, or it can be anything that is more powerful than you. So this artwork has a huge story behind, which I'm not going to go dive deep into it. But when he was making this work, we were in Hopo, which is near Taungji, Shanstay. We were just there, and he was just doing a little small residency thing himself because the space was provided by his friend. So basically, he was doing residency there because he doesn't have a space to draw a huge painting. So yeah, so I will just go back to the work after this. So this is by Magnus Rush. So everyone knows about him. Obviously, he writes a book, and he's been promoting the book called How to Collect Art. So this is collectors should focus on what resonates with them personally rather than solely on trends or investment potential. This approach not only enhances the enjoyment of the collection, but also fosters a deeper appreciation for the art itself. So basically what he's trying to say is collectors should buy what they love. This is like the entire opposite statement of what's happening in my country. So I'm going to dive a little bit into the market. So when it comes to the Myanmar art world, there's basically two terms that they love to use. Either it's a traditional painting, traditional market, or it's become a contemporary art. So this is like the basic two terms that Burmese collectors or Burmese galleries or whoever likes to use that. So for those two markets, the ratio, you can see that. Where do I get this data? So I got this from just by listing the galleries, asking them what they have, going to the shows that they've been. So I went to almost all the shows in Yangon. Whenever they have a show, I went there. So I can see what is happening there. So they focus most on these quality of the artwork. So the first thing is marketability. So they always look for whether they can sell it back or not. No matter what kind of artwork it is, they don't care. I mean, in the end of the day, the first thing they think is how much I can get. Can I get it back if I want to trade or sell back? Okay, so when it comes to the term called they, it is mostly focus on the collectors that I will be explaining a little bit further behind. So the second thing is status, which is also the same with the whole art world, contemporary world. The status is how you collect this work so that you can become some sort of a specific art collector. Another purpose is re-exhibition. So this is a very weird term to introduce here because what do they do after they bought a pile of works? So they wanted to re-exhibit it into a new show. What is the purpose? It's very simple, to sell again or to change the works that they own. So that is re-exhibition habit has become more and more popular among the collectors in Myanmar because that's how the economy is going in their own mind. Okay, and appreciation is very rare, but there's also some collectors who are buying because they love it. And then artist popularity, that is also related to the four topics that I was mentioning earlier. And then death, I didn't put anything there because everyone knows when artists die, the price goes up. That is the fundamental thing that the art market has been using ugly very well. But in Myanmar, that is even worse than that. Okay, so the group shows are one of the worst habits that I really hate it because if they have 7 names there, they wanted to do a group show, maybe 7 of the artists who can sell very fast, and then 3 who doesn't sell, they combine it, make it into a show, and all 10 artists are happy, they can sell. So the group formats are very weird, the group formats are very, I would say, unethical, but artists want to be a part of the group somehow. Why? Because they want to sell their works. Very simple. So the group shows. Okay, the other thing might be very controversial, but it's something that in Myanmar that is it's a tradition that we've been doing. Charities, traditions, and heritage. So whenever it comes for the good cause, whenever it is for something better, or whenever it is for preserving the traditional world, or using the term of the cultural heritage, it might sell, and mostly it sells. So what are the paintings for that? Those are the very traditional old master paintings will be there. There's some sort of paintings from the show that is left, but it is not so, but the name is, the artist is somewhat famous. They will go into that category sometimes. Okay, another one is very obvious, friends' recommendations. It is okay. I just use my name there because I don't want to offend anyone. And then artist houses. That is one of the worst habits which kept on happening again and again in Myanmar, especially at times like this. It is happening more and more. They buy directly from the artist's family and artist's house. So why is it bad? I would say as a curator, as a person who wants to do exhibitions, this is bad because the artist never had the chance to get anything out of it. All they get is money. They don't get to show the artworks to anyone. They don't get to show the artworks to the art writers, to the world. They don't get to show the artworks to the galleries, or they don't get to show the artworks to the public. Because once they bought that, it's different. They can either keep it at their houses, or they can just re-exhibit it into like a random weird group that they wanted to do. There are so many things that they can do it after that. So how do they buy the artworks? You can just read it with the cheaper options, alternative approaches. So there are even worse weird approach that are happening in Yangon, but I'm gonna skip that. Okay, this is like my ways of dividing the collectors, because we need to know the characters. Oh, these are the names that from my favorite shows, so that it doesn't offend anyone. So the OGs are like the real mafia people, right? The OGs are the one who with money. They're the one who's gonna collect whatever they want, right? They're the ones who, but they don't collect unless the artist is famous, or like it's some sort of like auction by some famous auction house, or like this is very normal in the art world. I think everyone knows that. The Royce. So the Royce comes from a term called the series succession. So which is, I used to be obsessed with that show last year. So it's a group of collectors literally made into a group to buy and sell works within themselves. So which is like your friends from high school, 10 of your friends become best friends. You're gonna buy this artist, let's say, I'm an artist, Mr. Sid. So number one will buy Mr. Sid, right? Number two will buy not Mr. Sid, because they need to have their own specific artists in their pockets, and then they kind of swap it out by doing shows among them. And then the groups, they buy between themselves only. Let's say, for example, number one collector is doing a show of my works in this gallery. They're not going to buy from my gallery. They're going to buy from Mr. Sid. They're going to buy from the collector directly because they're friends. Very simple. So the group is becoming stronger and stronger because no one else is like, I would say, talking about them, or no one else is trying to convince them to get new works, to convince them like this is not a good habit of staying in the art market. So the Roys are actually the family, which is very rich, and then they have 4 kids who kind of like mess things up. They mess everything up. So it's a like a reference that I made. Pete Campbell's. They are the art dealers basically, but the way they deal the artworks is very weird. They only promote, create, buy, and sell artworks according to the trends, current affairs, national strategy, or any sort of public sympathy. So they pops up whenever something is happening. Like let's say there's a flood happening very bad, right? These guys will come up with artworks that have never been shown anywhere, or like the very cheap works or whatever works that they cannot sell. They will reuse it back into the better purpose and then try to sell in the market again. So they're like, let's say, they're seasonal, you know? What I'm saying is they're very seasonal. Sometimes they always have different sort of like excuses, either political or like, I don't know, whatever the reason, you will know. The pseudo Gen Zs are the new wave of collectors, which I actually love though, because they're not Gen Z, because Gen Z cannot afford the art pieces, right? It's very obvious, but they are pseudo Gen Z because they think they are the one who is connected to the emergent artists, right? They are the ones who are supporting the artists. So I love them actually because they're around my age, and then they are somewhat slightly older than me, but they are somewhat successful in life, so they can buy art. So I love them. It's fun talking with them. The KFCs are the like a normal art dealer. So, but this is not just happening for the art dealers. This is also some of the galleries are doing that. They buy the artworks and they keep it in the gallery. They do a show. They take all the profits. The artist is like done with it. So what they do is they buy the artworks from you, and then you give it away all the 10 works, and then sometimes you're being commissioned to do more works, but the artist will only get the commission and the initial price that has been given to them. So what they do is they make exhibitions to sell. They do it a whole year. Okay, another was Homelander. This is from the series The Boys. Actually, Homelander is only one, but I put an S there because they try to save the country. He's a superhero, antagonist superhero. So he is like Superman, but I would say he's an antagonist, so he do bad things too. But he's a good guy. He wants to be a good guy. So these are the people who want to save the country a lot. So I would say they're outsiders. They're the tourists. Maybe some of the museums that like to collect the works, but this only happened before 2020. Mostly. There were no tourists after that. There is no like museum collection. But you can actually find and name one or two, right? But not, I'm talking about the consistency. And so these guys are all gone for now. Maybe one day they will be back. So these are like types of collectors which are working and buying and selling works in the industry. So why am I telling all these first? Because everyone thinks that with the military coup and COVID, the art market, local art market is gone. But no, the money is there. The money was there. The money was there. It's just not in the contemporary market. It's just in all the traditional paintings and all the old masters' work, more auctions. The money has been moving around a lot because another reason is the exchange rate. Okay. Oh, this is an example of whatever I said before. So I'm not offending any galleries. I'm just saying. So from the left, you can see the details written on social media that donated by the artist. This is the medium, this is the price. This is the donation price, basically the discounted price. So basically the artist is not getting any money from that, right? So they're supposed to donate the entire profit from this, but transparency is never revealed. And the other thing is, once they do it this way, the chances of selling this work has increased 10 times more because they wanted to collect this specific artist in the very low price and also supporting the flood victims. So that's the other thing that, and then once this has become the trend, all the galleries jump into that. It's not just in one or two times doing a let's say, let's do a fundraising exhibition. It doesn't stop there. It's like a 1-2 month entire trend, which is not ending. Until now, it's not ending. So this is one of the habit. And the other one on the right, it's that the way the galleries, the traditional galleries, kept on promoting the soul works. They kept on sharing the works with the red dot. Obviously, this is the trend, but not that many international galleries or whatever, they don't do that. But the traditional galleries love to do that on social media intentionally, so that they want to show and share who owns what just by showing the works. Let's say the genius soul works. We don't know who buys that. But whoever knows that, who collects this guy, knows that, okay, this work has been in the specific collector. So they use that. I don't say it's strategy, it's sort of there's a little bit of loophole around so that they can keep on moving the money in between themselves. Because what happened was, whoever wants to buy Win Indian sometimes wants to swap with this. That is the uglier part that comes along after that. So, okay, the prices. The prices are fairly cheap, I would say. So I cannot say exactly in US dollar for now because the rate is different every day. We have a different rate every day, but I would say from tier 1 and below is I would say $1,000, right? $1,000 and above. So the rest are below $1,000. The first one is it's not even $50 US now. It's $20 US. Yeah, that's right. So it's $20 US to maybe $50 US, the first one. I will put the dollar range. So the first one is the maximum. I'll tell the maximum amount. So the first one is $50 US. Second one, $100 US. Third one is 100 to 200 to 300 US. And the fourth one is $500 to $1,000. And then after that, 1,000 plus, and then 3,000 plus. So what happened to this tier is that most of the galleries, the traditional works, they offer all the prices in their exhibitions. So if you go to one exhibition, you could choose from any tier you want, and then you can just buy the simpler works. And it can also be done by one artist. So they play around the prices on a specific artist very well. But the problem occurs when it comes to like the famous recognized artist show is happening somewhere in Yangon. So they only pay around tier 1 and S, which is $1,000 and above. And that is the time where contemporary exhibitions happen. There's a time where contemporary market has to let's say, compare the prices so that the collectors start to think, which one should I buy from? I have a $500 piece, and then should I buy the one who's famous in Yangon, or should I buy a new kid who just started doing installation works but also collected by a museum or whatever? So they start to compare that. They always go to the formal one, which is the traditional painting, because it's a painting, he can just put it somewhere in the room, he can always sell it back, the reasons comes back again. So the contemporary galleries and the contemporary works are always comparing with the famous artists from the tier 1 and the S. Why is contemporary work is expensive, would you ask? But there's so many reasons to to defend that the material prices, the branding and everything comes in again. So I will say about that later. This is and then according to inflation, unstable exchange rate, economic crisis, and all the problems, they are still buying and selling arts actively. So one of my friends said this year they are not too active, but until last year I was in Yangon, that the traditional market is super active. It's even more active than before COVID, because the reason will be shared behind because of the fluctuation of galleries in Yangon. Okay, I'll go more. Okay, so this is the newest work by Wana Ao, which is our current situation basically. So I don't need to explain too much. So I just put it there because I'm going to be talking about education workshops and art professionals, so how does a Burmese artist, a Burmese art professionals can become artists or art professionals? There are 6-7 ways. So most of the artists are from National University of Arts and Culture. There are also some NUAC students here. I'm very happy that some of my Burmese friends are here. And some of them come from private painting classes, sculpting classes, digital classes. Those are very popular in Myanmar. Actually, right now it's even more and more popular because classes are the only way the artists can earn money. So they want to teach all the time. And then everyone is teaching something. Okay, and then there are one-time free classes and workshops that are hosted mostly by institutions, galleries, and fundings, and then private art classes in schools. That means overseas studies, and then self-learning, and then workshops and programs. So the art professionals, when it comes to art professionals in Myanmar, these are the only people that I can see working in the industry. And the ratio comes from my friends, my community, and I would say whoever is interacting with my gallery. So I have the list of the people that I work with, and you can just name them, and what they do is this is basically in this pie chart. So 61% become artists because everyone wants to be an artist in Yangon. They don't want to do anything else. Even now it's even worse. Everyone is painting. Why? There are so many reasons I can say. Even some of my Burmese friends are already laughing because they know the why. Everyone knows the why. There are so many reasons. Let's say political maybe issues, or maybe they think painting is the easiest art form right now they can do, or during the very intense time of revolution, painting is the only getaway art that people can actually do, because if you shoot a music video, they will say, oh, the country is in crisis, why are you shooting a music video? But you can paint. So it's funny. But it's also metaphorical that people start to paint. And also painting is one of the most selfish, easiest art form ever, because you only need you. You don't need a team, or you don't need I would say, a partner to video edit for you, or a songwriter for you, something like that. That's why a lot of people paint. So let's say this is artist, and then just put it a little down. My slides move around. So 6% is a curator, because I would say most of the exhibitions that happen in Yangon and most of the art activities has no curator. No one cares about that, and we don't get paid for that too. So I need to find where I can get paid, because they don't have a job for curators. Let's say they don't pay you monthly or whatever. So another part is gallery owners and art dealers are the art professionals, because everyone also wants to open gallery after painting and after collecting decent amount of works. The amount of galleries increased during COVID is twice. Let's say we used to have 10 galleries in Yangon, now we have 20 plus galleries, which I don't even know most of the names as well. This is only Yangon. There's also some in Mandalay as well, but I don't know everything's because they just open and close again, they just always moving around, but they're the same people mostly. And then art writers, it's like we don't have them. We don't have art writers. I have 5 to 10 friends, Burmese art writers that write about art, but they write about art, that's all. They don't write on art review, or they don't write for whatever magazine. They don't write for Spike, they don't write for let's say Art Forum. So they just write about art, right? There's no credibility after that. And then there's grantor associations, institutions. Okay, they are the ones. Some of them are also artists. They work there to help the institutions to give back fundings and whatever reason. So this is the only art professionals we have in Yangon. But I don't put in the production and the media agency people in there, because this is the other world. Okay. So going back to workshop and education program, these are some of the programs that I wanted to highlight that actually happened between 2020 to 2024. This is the first workshop that I helped the curator of the program. Aung is a curator. Sorry, I will just zoom in a little bit, because yeah. So this is funded by British Council. It was in 2021. It was done by Aung who is a senior. He's older than me. He's a curator, and then he did a little workshop with British Council, inviting the UK instructor, and then whatever. So I had a problem during that workshop, because he wanted to choose 10 artists to be part of the workshop, and at that time I was suggesting him that it's 2021. During the coup, military coup, why don't we just give out the opportunity to all the artists? Let's say send in an email, right? Let's say send to 20 artists at least, send to 25. At least ask them before, let's say, choosing them, because he wanted to choose the artists first and then go for the workshop. So I felt like that's not a fair opportunity for me, because at the time everyone is having problem, and they're basically they don't have anything to do. And then that was the first problem that occurred with me. And second problem is, after everything finished, there is no artwork, there's no tangible artworks left. So everything was made with, let's say, photographing the references, some material testing, and then there's no actual work. Some of the artists don't produce the actual work. I was you do a workshop, and then you need to produce something, something tangible as an artwork, as a final piece. Because if you want to put it back into an e-catalog or whatever, it's not it's not an imaginary obstacle. It's an artwork. So that was the second part that I have to let's say talk with him. And then this is happened in 2021. Oops. And then there's another workshop that is called documenting. This is also same, because he is the most active person for art education in Yangon. He's the most active person who talks about contemporary work. He's the most active person who works for the extra before. He didn't show the works anywhere, and he just take the photos of the works that were not existing in the real world. That means that the artist make the artworks, or destroy, or set it somewhere, or like he doesn't do that. Like let's say he made this sculpture, but he sort of like take down it, and then he just take a photo only. That's all. So he documented some of the works that were produced during the time, yes, but there was again no tangible work left. So this time I didn't say anything because I wasn't part of the project as well, and I was like just more of a researcher. I was really interested in the concept of this because we need documentations. We are the country that lacks documentation. When it comes to our history, we can basically write our own history. Everyone says different things about our country, so which is really funny. But so it was a lovely project about the documentation. But when it comes to the art world, we cannot go and see them physically, so which is a little bit weird for me. There are reasons behind that, yes, correct, but at least there should be a chance for the public to see it outside. And so after this, there's an education program that my gallery introduced in 2023. So this program is, we started this program for like, we wanted to give a mini art school type of thing, which is not funded by the government, because at that time everything related to government was like we should say no, like boycott this and boycott that. So we don't have schools now. So for that, we wanted to do a little art school program at that time. So after COVID, another problem with the artists was they don't go to the spaces, they don't go outside, they don't work in actual spaces. They only work there at their houses, right? They don't touch the books, they don't touch the material medium. So I wanted to introduce the program that artists need to come outside of the house, keep in touch with the people, keep in touch with the students, and then need to like learn the topics that you don't like as well. So this is the first, I would say, first trial batch that we introduced in 2023. We get a partial funding from Outset Contemporary Art Fund in London, and it was not directly by Outset, but it was like a partial funding, so it was very small amount. But we could manage to do like a small 3 months program. These are the titles that we introduced. We wanted to introduce both theory and practical skills at the same time. So we combined 5 topics that I would say that don't really connect one another, so that the artists can learn everything at the same time at one place. So yeah, so you can read the topics here, and it was instructed by different artists who approach differently. So before the 2 programs that I just shared, they were all Zoom programs, and this is the first time we introduced, this is the first education program that was introduced, which is not a painting class, which is not a sculpting class in Yangon between 2020 and 2024. I would say even in 2019 as well, there was not that many education programs happening. So I wanted to make this more consistent, make this more, I would say, regular program, but it's impossible because we need to find funding, we need to find the instructor, and we need to find the students. You know, for that, we wanted to make sure the students show up. So we even give away like some art material, and we even ask them like a small money and then attendance. Because the problem with the students is they don't show up in my country. And then for these subjects, they have to come on the weekends. They have to stay like 9 to 4 p.m. at the space, testing everything, going out together, because they don't have that anymore. They don't have it in their schools, and because universities are closed. We have no universities to go at that time because everyone is boycotting something. And then there's also like no extra classes happening when it comes to these topics. No one is talking about art criticism. They don't care. I mean, it's like not necessary at that time. So So yeah, but the problem with the program was the artists, the younger generation who comes to the gallery, the students are not consistent enough. They cannot show up properly, like on time, attendance, whatever. But so this is some of the little highlight of the topics which I wanted to share. I'm just comparing the two contrasts of like one is focusing mostly on like I would say very practical things like brush strokes and how to do tone and color practice, the very basic one. The other one is talking about historical events, the war history, propaganda, etc. So my point is there were education and workshop programs during this time. So people tried different ways at that time, doing lots of like programs to help the younger artists, programs to support the older artists, but nobody knows or no one is sharing. So another topic that is I'll be introducing is community, which is the only positive thing that I love about Yangon is the community. The Myanmar contemporary community is very, I would say, warm and fun, because I can even see some of my friends are here. I can see some of the gallery goers are like still coming, and even though if I have like some sort of a show today, there are people showing up. So the community is still there. Just a very few part of the community, but not entire. Not everyone is here anymore. So what if this community is gone? What are we going to do? Because right now, the conscription law in our country is for the ages of 18 to 35, which is all the Burmese in this room right now. So this is a very weird situation for us to be the community in the country that we love, because we were forced to leave. Nobody wants to be a soldier. I don't want to be a soldier. I mean, this is not my job. So everyone has their own job, right? So when the conscription law was introduced, this community slowly decreases. This community is gone. Whenever I do openings, whenever there's a music show now, let's say if we have 50 people showing up, we have regulars. I know who comes to my gallery. Like the faces are very obvious. Everyone knows everyone's. But once the community is like gone, we don't have anything else to do. It's basically the artists don't want to do a show anymore. I mean, we don't want to do a performance, so the community is one of the biggest pillars that is happening. Okay, this is the list that grew during the COVID. Before this, there was only like 10 galleries on the list, and now we have 21. And I'm not saying these are all galleries. Some are like institutions, some are, I would say, let's say, it's not funding. It was maybe. Some are like want to be an art center or like library, whatever reason, they increased during the COVID. There are galleries the smaller galleries that opens during the COVID, but some of them have big names because the collectors are the one who opening the galleries. So these are the size of the local galleries and institutions, and that side has the three main, of course, sources of funding, and the institution that works very actively in Yangon Art Scene. We have Kaung Sett Institute, British Council, and IFB. So three of them have three different types of like fundings and exhibition they love to do. So this is the list just to share you guys that how many galleries bloom during the year. All right, so I will go more. So this part is where I will just be sharing the exhibitions that happen in my gallery, because I'm not supposed to tell about the exhibition from the other galleries, because I don't feel that is very ethical about it, because sometimes I want to say something bad about it, so I rather say something at my space. So in this series of photographs, you'll be seeing a lot more about the shows. I had to move 3 times. My space, I have to move 3 times during this period. I have to move from like urban Asia, which is like downtown, to another part of the downtown once, and then from another part of the downtown to like northern side of the city. So let's say my gallery has 3 different features will be in the photos. So the first one was you will see the details. That it was an album launch, which was like this album was introduced by the band called Pink Nation, which was all the artists are all from the Shan State. They did an album called like album about flowers. I put it there because it's 2021 in the middle of the coup and they're talking about flowers. They're the only one talking about flowers and I love them and they're from the Shan State. And the painting that I showed before that I told you like it was near Tangji, this one. The vocalist is this artist. So his band was the only one talking about the flowers and they wanted to do like an album release in the middle of the coup. So I was excited about that because someone has to keep on doing these little things that matter to us, right? Because so at that time, at the same time, what is happening was the tape company is like when you release a music album in Yangon, we used to do with either CDs or tape. The tape is a cassette tape. So the cassette tape company is like way back, right? But at that time, the cassette tapes company was like, he wanted to shut down his company entirely. He had 3 tapes left. So these guys want to produce cassette tapes. I was like, why not? Let's just do it. Let's just have fun, you know? Because we don't have anything other than like I would say politics at that time. So there are 7 flowers in the album. They were talking about flowers in the Shan State mostly. And all the songs were recorded in the Shan State. So it was a beautiful, like, let's say a flowery event that we had. And the title is called Lily. And the artwork is, I don't think you can see anymore. It is done by an artist called Baji. I don't have the photo of the artwork anymore. Because he had to run away after this. And then he had to run away to Mesau, and then he stayed there for a while. Mesau to the border to now he runs safely to Australia, which is very good for me, because he and his family was like very active during the revolution, and then they were caught with bombs at their houses. So yeah, I have those stories of my artists, which I don't want to share publicly that much, because they won't feel comfortable about it. So the second show was Bionic Society. One of the shows that I love most, because the 3 artists were like, I would say, very active in the contemporary scene and in Southeast Asia, Tunya, Wana Ao, and Tin Nue. So they were the names that were like, they have been shows in Bangkok, they have been shows in some Indonesia, some of them were shows in Singapore because Nue was a graduate from LaSalle. I mean, like, they are the ones who could be in the, like, let's say, international contemporary art scene. I love them as well. So, and that show was very weird because we wanted to talk about humans. At that time, everywhere is like, people are dying, people are like surviving, people are fighting. It's like the very early stage of the coup. So the show is called All Too Human, which is a half title from Friedrich Nietzsche. Nietzsche's title was Human, All Too Human. It was talking about how superhuman and how powerful a human being can be. But then we just took the second part of the title, All Too Human. We're trying to mock that people just become so loud and very like opinionated sometimes. So everything is about humans. So this artist, Dunya, did works on Bionic Society. It's like sci-fi and human interaction. He's been talking about this for a while, for almost a decade. So this is the show that I love it because it makes me emotional, I think so. And then livelihoods, this one. So artist Kaung Sett Lin is an abstract expressionist. He did huge abstract paintings like the one on the right. But in the show lino cuts, we only do lino cuts because at that time, our angle was lino cut is the cheapest material we can find. Because the shoe soles and the tar, we can get it everywhere. So for the lino cuts, we did the entire show of lino cuts in 2021. And then what happened was, this is the only show that I sold completely. The entire show was sold, all the lino cuts. Yeah, why? Because it's cheap. It's the cheapest show I've ever did. The price was 6.5 lakhs, which is $150 US. Like, all the works were $150 US. 100 to 1, because at that time the dollar rate was good. So now it's not 50 for sure. It's like, I think 50? Yeah, now it's like 50 years old. So it's like, so this is the only show that my gallery sold. So I'm kind of proud of it because this is the only show I can share to my friends that, oh, I show a soul, this is a nice, but you can see it's a very cheap price. And then in comparison to that space is my current gallery. You're all welcome if my gallery is still there and when we can travel back to Yangon, if I can keep it open, because some of them have already been there. We've made some fun stuff privately. We do some music activities, whatever. But this is like the works that Kaung Sett normally makes. That he wanted to test the linocut material, and that happens. And the other show as a retrospective of the artist, I put it there because that was the only show with huge sculptures. But he did these in like 1970s and 80s. He was a older generation artist. And the sculptures were all related to the political context. We didn't put and like say anything about it because we're scared, of course, obviously. But the people who know this artist knows that he did it for the political prisoner, political gender, all the things that happened during his time. My idea of showing that retrospective show in 2023 was that history is repeating. It's happening again. Like the traditional medium, the political context, people are losing the political context to go international art scene. It's happening again. It's the exact same thing that some of the exile artists has done before, maybe 30 years ago, maybe 40 years, even way bigger than that. So, is it good? I don't have anything for that because it might be good for some artists, but it is an illusion for most of the younger emerging artists that whether they have to do this or not, So yeah, this is like, okay, this is the queer exhibition I did. Again, the only queer exhibition that we did. Oh, I think this is the only queer exhibition in Yangon at that time. It's not just us, it's like entire city. It's a photography and I would say there's a photography and some cyanotype print show. 2 artists. One is in Bangkok right now. He said he will come, but I'm not sure he's here yet. So if he comes here, I'll introduce. Because artists are always late, so I don't mind. It's like if we start at 2, they will be here like 3:30. Hello, Sid. I'm very used to that. I love that anyway, so it's fine. This is Ziggy. Ziggy is very active in Bangkok right now. He do commercials. But we're planning a show very soon. This is what I was talking in the cafe before. Like, Ziggy is one of the photographers who I really love, and I love his work. And then the work behind is Rita. Rita is, she's an amazing person. She's doing some important works right now. She's been working with Archive. She's been working with Women Collective. She has been way more active than before. But this is like the brief of it. So another big exhibition that happened was in November 2022, which is called Sheet Exhibition. I have little books for the exhibition. You can just touch it, just to like, because I don't have anything to share right now, but something tangible. So Sheet Exhibition was something that happened in 2022-23 with a funding from Goethe Institute. I want to highlight and talk about the exhibition more because so much chaos happened at the time. And then, so before like military coup, we had pandemic. During the pandemic, Goethe released huge fundings for all the artists in Myanmar. They released like 2 years of fundings that support around $3,000 to one project. So more than, I would say, 50 artists, 60 artists, around 60 to 70 artists were like, get huge grants. But then since it's COVID, everyone's at home and the artworks were just like at home. So after that, in 2022, Goethe wanted to do an exhibition. Goethe wanted to do an exhibition of all the artworks that they gave away as a grant. So yeah, we put it together as an exhibition in 7 different galleries across Yangon in 2022, which was really difficult because we also have to look around for like potential political pieces, because at that time, it was during COVID. People don't know that military coup would happen. So there are some artists who still want to say something about the political regime or like, so we have to be very careful about that as well. And also we have to be very careful of like the timing and the people. So it was a chaotic exhibition, and one of the biggest exhibition happened in Yangon. Okay. This is another random work that, what's happening here? Here. Oh, this is, it's coming soon. It's something that we've been saying every day. We don't know when, because we've been waiting for something good to happen to our country. I think everyone is. So I show this artwork wherever I can. It is one of the work by Tumia. It was shown in the exhibition All Too Human, and the characters themselves are robots, but it looks like monks. So we wanted to talk about, when it comes to talk about humans, we were talking about the hope that we have, the little dreams, the little hope that we want. So one day when we go back to Yangon, when we go back to our country, so for all those little phrases, this painting can represent. So there's a little pause. And okay, wait, where's my title? Okay. So another part of the presentation is artworks, mediums, and artists. So this is also quite, I would say, I got it from all the exhibitions we did, all the galleries I visited, and all the data that we've been provided by Goethe and British Council, the works that's happening. So most of the works are paintings and visual, obviously. This is like the simplest, easiest, and most efficient way that Burmese artists love to do. But there are also some digital and technological shows. I had one exhibition curated by a curator called Punya Thread. She did an AI and technological exhibition in the middle of the city with like power cuts and military coup. So I don't have I don't have a good photo of her AI works right now, so I will share it to you guys if anyone's interested, because you need to use your phones and then look around, because there's an AI like the show is like that. So another one is performance and theater. This is very obvious. I think performance and theater is like the way the Burmese artists are going international. Is the way the performance work is always, I would say, one of the strongest medium that Burmese artists could achieve internationally. And sculpture and installation, which is very little, but now, but later in the years, people do more and more sculptures. I think it's also one of the trends, and also another reason is in Myanmar, people start to appreciate sculptures and as an artwork, but they're not still buying it, but they start to do more sculpture and installation related experiments more and more. So these are the artists outside Myanmar. So I think most of them know most of them. So I would say Bot, Richie, Pinky. So I put the list according to the medium. I would say it's like, let's say Bot is a visual, Bot and Richie will be visual artists. Pinky mostly do sound works and installation works and whatever. Mozart, everyone know Mozart. This is like my conversation starter. I'm from Yangon. Do you know Mozart? So for now, this is very popular. So, and then so yeah, I have a congratulations post for Mozart. So, and then Algo, Ngere, Yodana, Koya, Chuye, Meko. So, what is the common factor about these artists who left around 2020-21? They are all doing the works of political context. Some of them are still doing it. Some of them stop. Like let's say for Bart, he wants to stop doing it, but I'm not sure he completely stopped doing the political context or not. But all of them are saying something about the Burmese political issue right now. Okay, is it good or is it bad? Or is it, should we do it or not? We don't know. But what I'm trying to say is whoever left around 2020-21 have like this way or this ticket or this key, the way they want to connect. So some of them have real problems. Some of them encounter like police raid at their houses and whatever, but I don't put the names there because that's how it should be, right? That's how their safety should be. I'm speaking in public, and so, but these artists have been very active internationally. Everyone, I think half of them are in Europe because IFB and France helped a lot with the grants and the residency programs. And some of them are in the States. Oh, no, actually, one is the State, one is in Australia. So I have contact with half of them. I think so, very actively. Some of them are my close friends. Because Richie, before he left, we did a huge political painting in the middle of the coup, so we need to hide and run around. We have quite sentimental moments. So he was one of the queer artists who did a full-on queer exhibition in Myanmar, but it was before pandemic, so I'm not putting it here. And it was created by my partner, Natalie Johnston. Okay, so more artworks. So this is by Kaung Sett. Kaung Sett was the one who did the lino cuts. So he's obsessed with these cosmic explosions and whatever happenings in the universe. So he has huge paintings of like this size, which is around 3 feet, 5 feet, around there. But his studio, it's like half of this room, around this area, the corner. And then the ceiling is too low, so he cannot put the canvases upright like this. He has to put it either on the floor or take it outside to do all this work. And then he kept it all. So if you go into the studio, the artworks are like engulfing him. So he's in the middle. He's working in a very small space. So he has to move all the works whenever he do the new paintings. So I love him a lot because he is someone who is vocal a lot about the Burmese traditional ways of doing things. And then he's the only abstract expressionist who is talking about space, universe, and cosmic. I have a big interest in these comments and cosmic and expansion because I love the music and the space-related experimental music. So this is one of the works that I love. And this is also from Dunya. I love the series because I was talking a lot about humans and cosmics and sci-fi. So these are the works that happened during the period 2020 to 2000. Oh, this is a performance work by Yelena. So she is 27. She is one of the youngest artists I am mentioning today. She just got accepted to RCA for her master's. So she's doing a master at RCA right now, which is, I'm very happy for her. She's doing a master called Contemporary Practice. I've never heard of that in my life, but it's a new one, which is nice. I mean, we have a master in Contemporary Practice now, yay, I don't know, but she's doing it in RCA. She's in London right now, but this is the performance work that she did during the coup. I put it here because during the pandemic and coup, she has one common similar problem in her head, which is that she cannot get out of the room. Basically, we're stuck in the room for a long time because, let's say, there are soldiers on the road, don't go outside. It's like the common thing that we have from COVID. So the continuation of staying at home is just becoming bigger and bigger. People become lazier and lazier. So she got tired of the sunflower smell in her room. She likes sunflower, she loves sunflower, but she cannot change the flower because she cannot get out of the room. So the artwork is called Sunflower Smells. So she started to see the sunflower dying in the room day by day. She did a performance about sunflower smells, how smelly they are. So the things that she's writing on the bed is like a little ritual that I wish the sunflowers don't smell anymore. Maybe like little rituals that she wants to happen. It differs from time to time. So on the pillow, she's just saying sunflower smells, which is in Burmese, Nejare Nande. So Nejare is sunflower, Nande is very smelly. So she did this work during the pandemic and did a video, she did a video, like say video recording in my gallery. And then in 2022, in She exhibition, she did a live performance in one of the space that is provided by it's like a small heritage home that we managed to put it in as an exhibition space. So in that She exhibition, we had 7 different locations to walk around. I have a map and a book. I can share it to you. You can pass around and look. So The common factor about staying at home can be seen in this artwork. So, media. This is from my friend's website. I've been talking a lot with him, and then I was in Saigon with him, so I just wanted to quote him a little bit. And then media, as in articles, magazine, forums, reels, interviews about the contemporary world. I'm only focused on, we do interviews, but it's very rare. We do articles, but it's not published. Maybe it's published this month and no one's going to write about it next month. We do magazines, but we don't have enough funding or the shows to talk about it. And sometimes we do forums and reels. People start to fight under social media comments because I would go back again. It's like not proper art education or like not proper credibility. It all comes back to the same problems and the same topics that we've been seeing again and again. So when he posted this on his website, like a little formulated area that he likes to write about it. So I was really hooked to the way that it was presented. It's very simple: material, form, concept, and inspiration. There are 4 pillars which go on the art writings are and each pillar guides you to the interlaced aspects of the contemporary art in Southeast Asia. Do we have those 4 pillars from the Burmese artists? We do. We just don't have the people to write the graph who made it into a writing piece, who doesn't have like the good quality to be like published into the writing pieces. So, this is a congratulations post. I know Mosa in 2019, I was in an art collective called Sarasa. I was the project manager, so basically everyone has to submit artworks to me. And then we worked with Facebook. Facebook was the one who funded the entire project. It was a huge exhibition about hate speech. It was a huge exhibition about hate speech, and at that time, there was so many problems with Facebook in Myanmar because we were becoming more and more advanced in 2019. We used more and more smartphones everywhere. Social media was like God or everything. We can buy anything on social media. It's like I would say the human quality and the nature of our I would say the information and everything was like blooming. So at that time, Facebook wanted to do an art exhibition, which is very weird that a corporation like Facebook wanted to do a very, I would say, unconventional approach, like saying no to hate speech, but in a very contemporary way. So we managed to get some sort of funding. So we curated I didn't put that exhibition here because it was out of my timeline, but I love that one because it was very funny. We chose artists that actually hate Facebook. so it was like we talk about hate speech. We talk about not to spread hate speech as an artwork on social media by satirically saying we hate Facebook. So Mosa did sculptures, Balloon Man. I don't remember how many, but it was sculptures of the balloons. And then there was a huge balloon that he wants people to write about any hate speech or anything that comes to the exhibition. So he was a part of the exhibition. So that was when I worked closely with Mosa. Before that, we know him. We just drink somewhere. We maybe gossip about it. We sometimes hate something together, but we're not too close of an artist. But congratulations, Mosa. This is the first time that something like this happened. And then it feels special somehow. It is also, I felt somehow motivated as well because it could be something that we can study later on. It could be something that we can, let's say, criticize. We can write critic session, we can write about it later on. So, congratulations. And then, so I have 2 big inspiration on Instagram. One is Freeze, Freeze with an E, not Freeze. Another one is Jerry Gagosian. Jerry Gagosian, I think, so someone knows, I love Jerry Gagosian. She's been very actively, I would say, angry about everything, and at the same time, she's been very vocal about people should buy more art, except saying a lot of stuff on art. So I love Jerry Gagosian, and this talk started from her podcast with Magnus. Actually, it was a video podcast. I don't remember the episode. It was maybe 24 or something, or 42, like that. So she was trying to argue Megan that. So when Megan was saying that why like big collectors buy art, and when her argument was like the artists need to self-promote as well. The artists need to have like Instagram because it's 2024 now. The artists need to be like have a digital trace somewhere. You know, she was the only one who's like vocally saying something from the artist side. So she inspired me a lot lately. Maybe it's a phase, but maybe right now I would love to meet her. And Freeze is like run by an artist called Sam. So Sam, I think he was part of the documentary team last one, the 14. I'm not sure, but he was a part of the documentary team. I saw the stories on his Instagram, but he do memes according to the trends. He was so active. So the most like I love about like I'm an art history person, so I like to learn about the current trends on the memes. So I am planning to do an exhibition about this too, but I don't have enough research right now. So maybe later on. So this is the terms that the art world has been complaining every day. We've been complaining every day. It's about gatekeep with brand energy and Nepo babies. So yeah, so my conclusion is like the gatekeep will always happen. It is still in the art culture. It is something that I think we cannot just destroy or like peel it out of the culture, but at the same time, we could fight for it. We could give comments about it. And also the Nepo babies is like, it's a problem that the Burmese contemporary world is happening right now is the Nepo baby issue that this is my friend, that's why I have to buy it. I don't like him, so I'm not gonna buy it. So, so this is like the simplest way to explain and break down why I want to put the Nepo and babies together. So my ending goes back to the title that was, are we still in the contemporary paradigm shift that the current art world is happening? Are we still in? If we want to be in, I think we are still in. But I don't think we can do it from Yangon, from Myanmar. We can do it relying on the local collector that's been actively in the scene. We need alternative ways. We need like alternative approach. Let's say we need extra, I would say, spiciness. We need extra arguments. We need extra quality of works. So my argument is still there, which I'm battling every day because one day I would just wanted to work somewhere else and forget the entire Burmese contemporary art scene. I'm just gonna, maybe like be a security or whatever at a museum because all I want to do is see the artworks, right? I just want to be in an exhibition. So even if I become an art handler or whatever, I can just forget all this. Maybe one day I might just forget all of this, but for now, I wanted to make sure that the contemporary art world still understands and still knows about the Burmese way of doing things. So yeah, so in Bangkok, I'm currently based in Bangkok. I'm trying to find ways to work with the galleries here because the only reason why I wanted to work with the galleries here is just that I don't want to start everything all over again, one thing. I don't want the artists to start everything all over again because we don't have much time. We suffer a lot. We lost so much money. We lost so much assets. Our time is running out. As we're not getting old, it's just that our creativity juice is like running out. So how much pressure can we like sustain more and more? So yeah, so I want to work with the galleries here. I want to be in the conversation. I want my artists to be a part of it. I want someone to hate my ideas and exhibitions in a very academic way so that I can also respond with my exhibition. So, just to be in the exhibition with the correct adrenaline rush, I think we can be back on track. And there are also some of the art professionals here. There are some people who like to draw, there are some musicians here, there are some of my friends are here. I'm very happy and thank you very much for coming. And also the other international audience as well. Thank you very much for coming and thank you Tim Thompson and for the talk. So any questions you can just ask me and tell me the slides if you want to see back again. I'll just run through. So.
Thank you, Sid. Next, we will have a big discussion with Pitya. And next, we will have a Q&A session. We also have food and drink outside the room. And if you need to use bathrooms on the back of the room, please welcome Pitya.
Hello.
Thank you so much, everyone. I think I won't take so much time, to ask him questions because there's so many interesting people in this room, and maybe everyone wants to share.
Thank you.
Very nice talk. So, do send me proposals from Myanmar artists at the art center, but maybe in the near future, we can do it. For me, it was really kind of striking, to see your presentation, from the COVID, the post-COVID period to now. Which my interaction with Myanmar and also your interaction with Myanmar is totally different version. Maybe we can share with him, because there are ways to be cool, and he's also worked a lot with Myanmar artists. But for me, the first time I went to Myanmar, actually the first time I went to Myanmar is like when I was super young, because I came from Golden Triangle area, and every time when I go back home, right, my shopping is not Chiang Rai, it's always Mae Sai, Thai I cross the border all the time to go shopping for the fake DVD, from China actually. So this is all like
we love Chinese products.
Yeah, we love Chinese products.
Yes.
But that was like interaction with China. Always translate, and where I come from is totally connected. But I went to Yangon the first time. It was early 2000. And I met a lot of artists, including with Popo, Aung Min, and everyone who you did not mention here. So I want to ask you about, those generations, what happened to them, in this scene, right? So what is you guys have that kind of connection or dialogue? Because you mentioned about Mozart, but this generation that we know, like Aung Min, Aiko, and Popo, as well as Lin Tet, right? So they are like previous generation. Of course, Shou Tian, right? So where are they in this landscape?
Okay, so Lin Tet is working at the British Council. So he is on the other side of the, I would say, our world, but he's also, I think, doing his own artwork. Popo is still in Yangon. I think he's producing works at his house, but the reason why I'm not sharing about them is that they are not actively involved with the younger artists that much. They do for specific, maybe artists, for like their students or whatever, but like with the pace that the exhibitions and the movement is happening, they are not too active anymore. Maybe who's the other one? Dr. Aung Min?
Yeah,
Aung Min is focusing a lot on the trauma art, and he's doing projects on like trauma-related art with art therapy. So he's very much into that for now. Because I think the other reason was that Dr. Aung Min, he loves a lot about the experimental films and his film project, and he cannot do it right now. I think that's also one reason why most of the film festival friends and filmmakers that I know, they are either out of the country or they're not doing film projects, they're doing something else. And then Eko, he's currently having a show, I think, right, in Lokana. I don't know. Lokana, is he having a group show?
Lokana still exists?
Yes, Lokana, I think Lokana is going to exist forever.
Yeah.
Lokana is going to exist forever.
Like first gallery in Myanmar.
It was the first.
What year?
What year? Oh my God.
Early 20th century.
Yeah.
Right.
So the first like male nude painting was in 1970. It was in Lokana as well. So Lokana is that old. And then actually right now the predecessor to the Lokanas are my friends. My same age, so younger people are coming. They're not getting involved in it, but they're coming in slowly. But with the current economy situation, they're not doing anything because Ohana is where people can just rent and do shows. Right now, Eiko is having a group show with some of his students and some of his colleagues. But the reason that I don't mention or don't let's say put it here is that I don't have that much to say about them, and then I don't feel like I don't know them personally that much, so that I cannot make too much comments. Yeah, because some of the activities that they're doing themselves. Yeah, I miss Popo though, because Popo was very amazing. I miss Popo because Popo is not active in the local scene. Popo, Tumin, and Wanu, they only wants to work with the international galleries. Yes, they are not active in local.
Yeah, we have artists like that, in Thailand. Like someone that we see that we rarely see them in the local art scene, but it's very more active internationally. I'm curious about the other thing because you mentioned that now you conduct a lot of kind of educational program, and workshop for younger generation artists. So I want to ask you about those kind of the rupture of educational system, in Burma at the moment. So can you kind of compare what is happening, during you remember this before the 1998, 88 revolution, right? So because there was a closure of the school, right, that got university and all this campus kind of closing, and if you can compare, to that generation, the closure of the education with the current situation, is it the same or different, or how is it?
So I would say this is according to my father mostly and my mother, because my mother is a teacher and she used to teach, not now, which was scary, but she doesn't teach anymore. My father is the one who got stuck in the 88s, so I will compare his life a little bit and current situation. So this is not going to be about art education. So in the 88s, when schools were shut down and everything happens, what happened to the students was they don't have any other information or resource to self-study. The main thing was the lack of books, the lack of references, the lack of credible sources that they can read and they can write. So what they do is they are very, I would say, obedient and good to the teachers and seniors and lecturers that will help them. So what happened was, because they don't have that much resources, outside materials, they're very focused on what they have. Let's say if you're an engineer or if you're an architect, if you want to draw something, you need to go to the instructor's house, because you need to use the ruler there. It's very simple as that. So once the schools open again, my father is a drawing teacher. He did a teaching at somewhere, little tuition classes, so that he can get money and then he can go to the university. So at that time, he doesn't know what to teach, so he need to learn, take time to learn from his seniors and whatever, because his university is stuck in between, right? But right now, I think the effects also come from the pandemic as well, because of the pandemic, they were used to studying online, right? All the students at universities are online, so they know how to study online. First thing is that. Second thing is they have huge information, waves of information but they are not focused like my parents. They're not focused on one topic. They're not focused on, let's say I talk about this, even my presentation is very scattered because this is the way that my brain works. But when it goes to the Generation Z, right, the way that they will Google everything that I said. But the problem is they don't accept some of the facts that I said. They will just counter with all the reliable information that they have. So I think the current situation right now is the filtering system of the information is the major key, because they're not going to listen to the lecturer. They don't care. They will just stay in the class to know the ways of studying because it's like game, right? I used to be a gamer, so it's like levels there. They want to know the levels only. Like this is level 1, this is level 2, this is level 3, this is the final chapter. That's all they want to know. Other than that, they don't care about us that much. They will just argue us. So when it comes to the time we have to argue, that is where things happen. That is where that you or me as a lecturer has to be confident to argue back with a very, I would say, specific or very, I would say, articulate information that they will accept. I think this is the way that current generation works right now. So before that was different. Right now, the schools are not there, right? Yes, everyone is doing their self-studies. But the problem is when they have to leave the country, right now we all have to leave, and some people who want to study abroad, they're becoming lazy because they think they can study without the schools, without the universities, because they've been very used to the homestay and the online studying. So yeah, I am the very anti-institution person. I don't really like the institutionalized ideas and stuff, but you need to be there at first so that you can rebel and say no to them, That's why I study until master, not PhD. For now.
You have nothing to do PhD.
But I know this is expensive for now.
You have so many things to do.
It's so expensive.
PhD alone.
It's so
But
expensive.
the other last question I want to ask is about, when after your presentation, it was really struck me, because comparing to what we did in Thailand, like in the 90s, I also started alternative space and working with artists, run a kind of very grassroots institution in the past. But we never thought about collectors. We did never sell the works, But what you say is your focus is really about market, about collectors. So what happened to that kind of system? Is there any alternative way, to not thinking about only collectors as the major institution that can support art within Myanmar context? Is there alternative way?
Yeah, I think I was forced to a corner where my way of getting out is them. When I go back to Yangon, I am never a salesperson. I don't know how to sell artwork. I have to read. Because I don't know how, right? My only approach of how to know something is to read. I don't know anything else or I asked my father a little bit if he can sell. But the problem is that I was forced to work with them only because at that time, let's say if I do something like an exhibition or whatever, there's no more outside people coming in, right? So either I work and survive with them, or I find, because my artists need to survive. They cannot wait for the fundings, they cannot wait for other alternative options. So I try to focus on if you love the artists, if you love the artworks, please buy. My solution was straight up simple, because I also want to promote supporting the contemporary art in Myanmar as well. Like you said, like I said, it's not just for investment, right? Some of them can be investment, I'm okay. But there's some spare money that can go to and then the other angle was that I need to keep my galleries alive. If I have to keep the electricity bill on, and then right now the power cuts, I have to run the generator. So if I have to keep all those mini things on, my fastest way that I can get money to get into the money flow, cash flow is the sales. So, and then the other thing is I see them buying, right? I see them selling. So I want them to happen to the artist set. So I was forced into, because before that, my job was to write proposals, and I was asking for fundings, and the Pinsarasa Art Collective that with Facebook, we did all on fundings and we did all on the supports from other institutions. We were okay with that before the coup and COVID. We were okay. I'm getting paid. I have my job. I don't need to think for the gallery. I don't need to invest money. I don't need to. So things were different. And then I think after COVID and the military coup really changed the way that I see things a little bit more. So I wanted to be a pure curator, only thinking about art again. But in reality, if I want to work with them, I cannot. I need to help them. So yeah.
Okay, my last question. What happened to Myanmar archive at the moment? And maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that. The project that you did with Natalie.
Myanmar Art Archive Marker is still there. We have the books in our space. It's the same space. We have a library room, but the problem is we cannot buy new books, right? We don't. Our information of the Myanmar Art Archive is that we wanted to like update the books all the time, and then we wanted to have like new books, but we don't have enough donations right now. We don't have like enough manpower to like, because books are very heavy, right? If someone don't bring it to us, we have to go and bring them. So we don't have enough manpower to like do it. We're still trying to update it as much as we can. We get some books from here and there, but it's very few. But we're waiting. We weren't, and the other step was we wanted to publish it online. It's like a little archive page, but our funding stopped with the Goethe Institute and German embassy. So we are looking for more funding to rerun it again. Yeah, because right now the manpower is one problem, and then when it comes with manpower, the funding, and then the people who knows how to do that. So the books are still there. It's all safe and sound. I've been carrying the books, which is a very huge burden for me. So.
Yeah, we also have it in our library. So if anyone wants to read it.
Yes.
I have we have time. So if anyone wants to share or wants to ask question or anything, feel free to do. Introduce yourself.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll just say a few things. My name is Jörg from Talibu, and actually I came to Myanmar in 1997. I was working for UNESCO, for the UN. So we had some community development projects, so that's why I came there in the first place. And I met some of the artists, and I started to collect some of the art, and we had a gallery opening, actually already from 1998 in Bangkok. And I closed the gallery, Talibu Gallery, in 2016, but I still do some writing, research, working with museums and auction houses. And now it's called Talibu Art Advisory. But the focus is on Thai, Vietnamese, and Burmese, so the name Talibu is Thailand, Vietnam, Burma. that's the name. So I just want to thank you for the presentation. It was very interesting to see, especially now from the Myanmar point of view, because I know it from an outsider's point of view, of course. And I'm also especially happy to see that some of the same artists are still active that we used to show in Bangkok, like Tumya, Tuna Ong, Kaung Sett. These are the young ones.
Yes.
So they are still very active, so I'm very happy with that. And I have to say also that it's quite sad that a few of the other ones have passed away recently. I mean, Pyo Chi, NCS, Sanmin and Min Sui. I mean, they were quite young, not very old artists. And we miss them because I think they were really very interesting and important artists. So what can we do nowadays? I mean, everything in a way depends on politics because, it's so sad. I mean, that's what we can say. It's very, very sad. So there's not much you can do really outside of politics. I mean, you have to work within the political system, of course, So what can we do? Hope for something better to happen. I mean, we talked about it before. Now it's going to be an election, but I mean that will not actually happen. It will not be a real election. So I don't know. I mean, people say pray for Myanmar. Yeah, what can we do? What can we do as outsiders? I don't really know.
That's a nice question because I'm thinking the other way around, right, all the time. What can I do outside of Myanmar with the outsiders? Because if I'm outside of Myanmar, I am an outsider now, right? I am an outsider. What can I do from outside of Myanmar? So, as an outsider or like as someone who wants to help or wants to support, the first thing is I will go back to what I said, buy the work or help me sell it. I'm getting very straightforward with that because the artists have daily problems. They have visa issues. They have so many things because I just talked with one of my junior artists there. We just talk about visa problem because everything costs here, right? And then with the current inflation, they need money every day. So my everyday problem is just help us buy, help us support. Anything matters for them, for us. And the second thing is like space and media would be the other thing that you can help us. Like, let's say, giving us a space to do an exhibition. Someone writes about us. It helps, not political, like from not the political angle, like something about the show, not related too much on the political aspect of the program. Because when you connect back, it's just ended up being sad. We're sad and angry every day. Like, I'm talking this and then I have to check my phone. What's happening with my gallery? No power cut. I have to find a way to get the gas for the generator because it's very hard to buy petrol. Like that detail that I have to work every day. Like, where can I get the gas? Where can I get the petrol for next day? Because there's an opening there, the power cut's gonna happen. The kids wants to see the works, And then when the rain is coming, sometimes, it's like step by step with flooding. So it is very sad and it's very angry. And sometimes, like, even though posting the exhibition news on social media, we have to be careful about it also, because right now everyone is talking about the flood victims. If I'm posting too much about like something happy, they will say something bad about it. Like every little things are problematic. So is it difficult? Is it sad? Is it angry? I don't need to answer. I'm angry every day, right? So yeah, so the three things that outside can help us: give us spaces. I mean, only for the art related activities. Give us spaces, write about us, buy from us. So I think that's like the major thing that can help us in a very straightforward way. There are also other long-term options, but we have to discuss like slowly, tailor-made discussion. I think so.
I'm from Myanmar.
Yes.
Related.
Yes, I know.
I was studying before, but later like architecture, musician, and now I have a master degree on design art. So that one. Through my experience, like it felt like I saw many friends. I got new art friends from Myanmar and find a way to struggle like for rent and hard things. But like I feel we need an opportunity to grab around like not only the artists, other professions like musicians, like we build our spirit by ourselves. But like we need ourselves to keep going, keep fighting, even though we are drowning. We want to keep survive. And, so how we can make as a society, like because we are becoming a society, how we can keep up our work, like keep up our creativity, even in our diverse circumstances.
Okay.
How would you like to?
It's a really good question.
As a both like creator and also as a artist.
So right now, I would try to be as positive as possible. Right now, the first thing is we all left the city, right? There's no one in Yangon that much anymore. Most of our friends are either in Bangkok, Chiang Mai, or somewhere else. So that's like a formula. So what we can do as a first is, if we're here before, we can talk to them because we know the things that they're gonna struggle, right? And then if they have jobs and if they have like other connections, I think the closest thing is just like talk to the neighbors at first, like someone who's close to, like let's say I would really recommend don't stay alone because it's really depressing. Because if we're alone, we're gonna open the social media and there's no blockage here and all the information flows in from every direction. It's crazy because we don't have that in Yangon. If you think that like properly, we have to use like thousands of VPNs just to open Facebook right now. It's like China, but it's worse than China, yeah? Like one phone has to install at least 7 VPNs to use social media. I think they all know that. It's crazy. So right now, everything is so easy, so don't stay alone. Stay in like whatever community you know. Like if you have a gaming friend, play games with them. If you have like someone who likes to drink, maybe sometimes drink with them. I mean, I would say start from that small thing. And then second thing is you're doing a master, you're studying something. We can focus on that too. Because after that, we need a job, right? Once we focus on that and then channel the energy a little bit somewhere else, I think we managed to do that. And then the other option is like, the other alternative that I found very useful for myself is find other friends. who are not from Myanmar. Find other random people that will actually vibe with you and actually understands the language that, if you're an architect, I mean, talk to someone who loves the houses, right? Talk to someone who loves, it's like, we have to find a solution every day so that it goes straight away from the social media. But at the same time, we also have to be responsible for what's happening to the country, right? Like, because we have friends who are in the Revolution Army, we have friends who are soldiers right now. We are here, we have the guilt. Like, we are here, but they are fighting. They're in the somewhere holding guns and fighting for our freedom, which is not fair. But if we don't do these works, where is their home, right? I mean, they don't have the home to come back. If we don't have like exhibition, if you're not an architect, how are you going to help them build their houses, right? If something like that, like something very positive about that should help sometimes, not every time, but maybe sometimes when you're down, just message someone. So yeah, that's my solution. And then my other solution is I chose to be angry rather than sad and drown, right? That's what I emphasized just now. I'm angry every day because for me, anger helps me. Maybe not for you, I'm sorry, but getting angry is healthier for me than getting sad and depressed all the time. Because if I'm angry, I find something to do. Like, I find a solution for that because I'm angry. I need to like win that or get over that, or, but if I'm down and depressed, I don't know what else to do, because right now, if you ask me what am I doing, I don't know what to do. I'm just doing whatever I can. That's all. Do I have a space? No. Can I open a space? No, I don't have the money right now. Like, I'm like, we're the same. Like, every day we have the same problems, maybe like next week we have to find a visa or whatever. It's very similar. So just do it and then just save up the money as well. It's an expensive country, Thailand.
Do you want to say something? I want to say something.
Thank you. So we can go. Finish.
Maybe the last question, comments, or some recommendation. I think this is very good moment for us, for us, as an institution, even though we are the anti-institution person.
Oh no,
we
I was just
we
saying.
are very, very happy.
I love to be in school, so.
To be,
thank you.
to be a platform for
Yes.
you guys, to give a talk, to share what is really happening in Myanmar with us, because we are also very curious about what is happening, because even though Myanmar is very close to Thailand, but we barely know nothing. For example, I have a young staff here, and they didn't really know much about what is going on, even though the artists that you present to us is almost like the same generation. But these guys, they're also the lost generation in Thailand, because they were born and grew up, up in the past 50 years. They were pretty much like depressed generation as well. But at least they still have school, and they graduate, and they have a museum to work with. I think for the younger generation in Thailand, you should really grateful for that. Comparing to what happened in Myanmar, and also in other cities, for example, in Laos, or Vietnam. Yeah, but I think to just to have this kind of comparison and regional perspective is very important for everyone, because the problem in Southeast Asia is too much national-centric. We always focus on our own backyard, and we don't really understand, and we don't really kind of sympathize, what is really happening in our neighbors. So this is a very good chance, and I'm really thankful, for
Thank you.
to really openly, share with us. So one of the reasons that we don't do Facebook Live is we want to give him the freedom, to speak, and then we can edit or cut later, before we put
I
it in
appreciate
YouTube.
that, because
Or any last thoughts, on these issues, or recommendation. What else you guys want to see? From us as a Jim Thompson Art Center, because we have a space like this, for special talk, and sometimes we have a screening program, and we are planning to, in the near future, we want to do a show. But even though we don't really focus on like nation kind of group show, but we can do something more sophisticated.
Yes.
Yeah, we want to put, like for example, Mozart's work, that piece, it's already shown here in Jim Thompson long time ago. It was part of an exhibition called Trace, and it was kind of, explore the history of Southeast Asia in the past, And I think in the next Berlin Biennale, so this is off record, it will focus mainly on Myanmar issues. So many Myanmar artists will be in the show, and the curator is from India, and she's really interested in Myanmar. So I think you guys will be more, visible. And a friend of mine, Max, he's going to write about Myanmar art, in the art review. So, okay, so one more question, or if not, we have a coffee.
Thank you very much for coming.
You want to say something like last word?
Oh.
Before break.
I actually.
You can advertise the.
Oh no, it's. I actually love that other people get to hear what I just said with the architect there, because that is my daily conversation. That's what I have to actually say to the artists instead of other art-related stuff, because they need to survive tomorrow, right? They have to, because Thailand can be a very lonely place with too many people. And when you don't have enough money or like asset to go out, you are alone at home just to save money. And this is where depression comes in. This is where like they want to talk about it. So I'm very thankful, and thank you very much that you guys are here until the end, very end. And I hope you guys have a lovely evening. Thank you very much.
So we have fresh,